The year is 1980. Connor High School is building their program up to state prominence, and you have to have pieces to build a program. Now, as you saw by the thumbnail, this is a memorial video. I'm going to pass the torch on to the longtime Hall of Fame head coach here at Connor, Wayne Badida, to tell you about this video. Sir, if you would, go ahead and tell everybody about who this memorial video is for.
It's about Kelly Stickrod, who graduated in 1980. He won a state championship that year. I believe I could tell you a lot of different little stories about him. He was a gentle giant. He was just a big boy. He never played football till he was a freshman because he was too large, too heavy for Pee Wee. They had a weigh-in, and he couldn't make it. So he ended up not playing football until he was in high school, freshman.
Right.
However, when the football season was over, he went to Louisville. They were after him. They invited him, and he ended up getting a scholarship, full ride. And how it happened, he went to Louisville, and they said, we need some offensive, the coach said, we need some offensive linemen, and you seem to stand out. He had, he was on a lot of all-star teams his senior year. And he ended up saying, well, I'll get back to you. And he said, what else did you do? He said, I wrestled. He said, how'd you do? And he said, I was state champ. He said, I think I have one more scholarship to give to you.
Huh.
He knew, he recruited, at that time, that coach recruited high school wrestlers.
Was it by chance Schnellenberger?
No, it was after him. Help me out
Okay.
here.
We'll have to look it up here.
I can't remember.
So Bob Weber at the University of Louisville offers your guy a full scholarship, and how does it go from there?
Well, he was supposed to learn the ropes and, eventually fit in. The first game of the season, I think one of the linemen, a guard or tackle, and I think it was a guard, broke his arm during the game, and they put Kelly in, and he never missed a game. He played the rest, all 4 years.
Oh, wow.
For them started. So that's one story about Kelly. Like I said, he was a gentle giant. We couldn't get him football. He was a good football player, and when he was a senior, we couldn't get shoes for him to fit.
Well,
he had such big feet.
About how big are we talking? Are we talking
He was close to 6 foot, and he was 250 little boy. So he was just a big, muscular, heavy guy.
Yeah.
But what happened? We called the Bengals. His dad, called Dan Stickrod, called the Bengals and told him his dilemma. And one of the players, I don't remember who it was, sent a pair of shoes to
that's
Kelly.
nice.
So he had the shoes to wear there.
Wow.
For practice.
That's a cool story.
Yeah.
And Cincinnati's just right up the road from
Right,
you guys.
right, stone's throw.
And so did he say I'm a state champion wrestler by chance, or?
No, he wasn't a state champion.
Oh, okay.
At that time, it was the football season. Then we went into wrestling season. But at that time, he says, I'm having a hard time finding shoes, can't get them, and we had a big game coming up or something like that, and so they sent him down here.
Huh. Well, that's cool of him. Let's go over, Coach, his 1980 bracket. First round, he's wrestling Chris Brill from East Hardin, and he wins that by a pin in 46 seconds. So it's pretty good. He wrestles in the quarters Steve Graham from Louisville Fairdale, and he wins that by a pin as well. The semifinals, he's wrestling Bobby Owens from Christian County, and he wins that by a 10-4 decision, and it's got his record being 33-2 that season. Does that sound about?
That sounds about right.
Okay. In the finals, he's wrestling Joe Ray Tingle from Louisville Trinity, and he wins the state finals by a 3-1 decision. And it's got Tingle's record. He's a junior, 36-2. So two, fairly even wrestlers, looks like, as far as like records go and stuff. Do you remember much about that match? I know you've seen
Oh yeah,
so much wrestling in your life.
They were typical heavyweights. They both were aggressive, but at the same time they didn't move, real quick like the lighter weights do.
Right.
But they managed to counter each other. They both were strong. Boy, I tell you what, if you could put their strength together, look out. But they were good. They had technique,
Right.
They weren't bad for heavyweights. Heavyweights usually don't have very much technique. It's just a bull in a china shop.
Yep.
But they had pretty good technique, and they really went at it.
Now, we done the review video with Ryan Puthoff from 1996,
Right.
and Ryan had really good technique for
Great
heavyweight.
technique, yes,
So
he did.
that is, that's, I guess, a atonement to you that, being able to teach big guys how to wrestle. And it's not something everybody can do.
I was lucky. I've had, I guess, 6, 7 heavyweights that were good athletes that had some technique, and they came out well, placed in the state. And I was really proud of my heavyweights always.
You got some really cool papers and stuff here. You've got quickest pin, Kelly Stickrod, 33-2, and it's got him the 11 seconds. This is the 1979-1980 individual awards for your team. Quickest pin, Woodford County Invitational champion, Conner Invitational champion, Northwest Invitational champion.
That was in Northern Ohio.
Oh, was it?
Had West Virginia teams there, Northern Ohio teams, and I think one Indiana team.
Wow.
It was a tough tournament.
That's pretty cool. District tournament champion, regional tournament champion, KHSAA state tournament champion. So he had the quickest pin that year of the whole team with 11 seconds. So that's and I mean you've got some, you've got Robbie Clarkson, 4-time state, which he was only 1 time or 3 times then, I should say.
Right.
But still, Troy Cole, 2-time state champion, goes on to be most outstanding. Todd Cole, individual state champion, most team points. Robbie Clarkson. So you have a lot of, and it's on here, Stickrod. Let's look at his. It's got him. Doesn't have it. It's got
Team points.
29.
No, that's pins.
Pins,
Yeah,
29 pins and 188 team points and 10 takedowns. But I mean, that's kind of a skewed number because heavyweight, if you can take somebody down, get a good position, you're not going to get a whole lot of takedowns. You're going to get a whole lot of pins.
Over.
It's got newspaper clipping, Stickrod signs with Louisville, which is doesn't have the date, but it's cool that you have this from all these years later. Kelly Stickrod, a 3-year starter for the Conner Cougars football team, last Wednesday evening signed a letter of intent with the University of Louisville. The 6'2", 250-pound senior started as an offensive and defensive tackle throughout his high school career. So that's amazing that, that's in its great shape. And then you have this complete newspaper page here from, I wasn't even born, Coach, when this was printed, February 21st, 1980. So this paper is about 5 years older than I am, and it's in phenomenal shape. But you guys are going to see a photo of well, that's a newspaper clipping. I'll cover me up instead of Coach. Make it look a whole lot better if I'm covered up. And that's, like I said, that's Kelly right there. Of course, you guys will see a better photo of it. But you have all these newspaper clippings and pages from all these years later. Anything else you'd like to say about Kelly while we're?
No, he was just a good kid. Kelly was an easygoing kid. I think he could have been a 2-time state champion if he was a little more aggressive,
right.
But he was that kind of guy. He was laid back, and he was just a phenomenal wrestler when it came time,
right.
to step out there. And he really, at the time, we had a kid named Brett Baker, was another heavyweight, and he ended up placing in the state a couple years or a year later. He was his backup, and he was small though, and Kelly, like manhandled him, and he always was taking it easy on him. I said,
Right.
don't take it easy on him. You know, you got to learn what
Yeah.
to do.
Especially, I mean, heavyweights. I mean, you got to be able to go full bore, because I mean they're coming at you like you said, bull in the china shop, man. Don't be the bull, not the piece of china on the shelf, right?
Right.
So,
Right.
Coach, man, thank you for doing this memorial video. Of course, like I said, Kelly's no longer with us. We're not going to go into that any further, but it's great that, you know, his legacy with the Conor wrestling can, you know, live on. He's on the wall. Now this video, the newspaper clippings and everything that come along with that. And just thank you for sharing the stories and being able to tell, you know, what he done for the Conor program.
Thank you for being here and interviewing the guys. That's, I think, really important for the archives for
Right.
the future.
Absolutely. I love doing it. And that's all we got for, and if you have the 1980 state finals, I would love to get my hands on it. That's one of the years I don't have, so please send it to me, or any year that I don't have. I'd love for, you know, be able to get with we are 59 so far seasons of the state finals. I want all 59 videos. I'm not going to stop till I find them. So if you have a year that I don't, you guys are seeing the list, get up with me. We'll be more than happy to convert what you have and give you a digital copy. That way we can just tell more stories. But that's all we got for this memorial video. We'll see you guys on the mats.